Today I'm excited because I got a special guest on the channel, a good friend of mine, Chris Walz. Chris has a new album out called All I Got and Gone, which you should definitely check out if you're into finger picking or traditional guitar playing. Chris is going to break down a tune from the album called Alabama Bound, and he'll tell you all about the history of it, how he came up with the arrangement, and break it down step by step. Now, I do have a downloadable tab for this. I'm going to put a link for that in the description if you want to grab that tab to follow along with this lesson. I think you're going to really enjoy this. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right.
Alabama Bound. If the boat don't sink and the stag don't drown, I'm Alabama bound. Boats up the river now, running side by side. Well, you got my loving kind, sweet babe, I guess you're satisfied. But don't you leave me here, don't you leave me here. Well, I don't mind you going kind, sweet babe, just leave a dime for me. Alabama bound, Alabama bound. If the boat don't sink and the stag don't drown, I'm Alabama bound. Has this train been gone? How long, sweet loving babe, has this train been gone? Kate Adams got ways just like a man. Well, she steals the one you love, sweet babe, everywhere she lands. Alabama bound, Alabama bound. If the boat don't sink and the stag don't drown, I'm Alabama bound. Can you tell me how long Jackson to Macomb? Well, it's 15 miles, sweet loving baby, going to my home. But don't you leave me here, don't you leave me here. Well, I don't mind you going, sweet loving babe, just leave a dime for me. Alabama bound, trains turned around. But if the boat don't sink and the stag don't drown, I'm Alabama bound. Last time. So that's my original arrangement of Alabama Bound that was taken from a recording that was done in the 1920s on the Paramount label with two guitar players and two singers, Long Cleve Reed and Little Harvey Hull. And now I'm going to teach you how to play it. So first thing I did was I was looking for a way to make a duet into a solo piece, and I tinkered around with a number of ways of approaching it. They had both of their guitars in standard tuning, and I think they were playing in G, somewhere around in there. And I hit upon the idea of putting it in an open tuning and trying to pull the melody into the guitar part. Because what they were both doing in the duet was, one was focusing more or less on rhythm and the other was focusing more on playing the melody. So the task is, well, how do you do that as one guitar player? So what I came up with was going into open D tuning, which is where I got my guitar now, and the notes of the tuning itself. For those of you that are wanting to tune up with me, it's D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. And then where I wanted to put it for the voice was higher than D, so I hit upon capoing at the 3rd fret, which puts you in the key of F. And for my voice, it's good to sing it there. And so I established that, and then I started working on the arrangement. So what I was looking to do was to try to get the melody, Alabama bound, right? If you think about each phrase at a time, and taking it from the vocal and the guitar part as they played it and putting it into the guitar part in open D tuning, you basically have 2 short phrases and 1 long phrase to try to figure out. So the first thing I wanted was Alabama bound, right? But I didn't want to do something that was just, that seemed a little sparse. And so I hit upon this little chord shape, that shape there, which I didn't invent. I think, if I remember right, this chord shape shows up in Bo Carter's Cigarette Blues, this little slur, that little shape there. And I found that if I could do a little sort of alternating thumb with a little rolling pattern in my fingers, I could kind of get the melody, right? Alabama bound. So if you're looking at the tablature, that's the first little shape that you're going to see. I call it the D slur position. So you're going to have your index finger on the 2nd string at the 2nd fret and your middle finger on the 4th string at the 3rd fret. And your thumb is going to be going back and forth between the 6th string and the 4th string. And the nice thing about this tune is that it starts right on the downbeat with a strong thumb beat on your 6th string there. So, and then on the if you're looking at that first measure on the and of the beat, so you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On the and of that beat, you're doing a little brush. You could do it as a flick with 2 fingers, or you could brush with 1 finger across the 2nd and 3rd strings. You're anticipating the return to the D chord open. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then in the 2nd measure, in the answering phrase, you just have thumb beats by themselves. You can put in some little picking if you want to, but you're really sort of holding that long note, Alabama bound. You're just letting it sort of sail out over that measure. So I think of that as the first phrase. So you've got thumb, index, pinch, middle, thumb, index, thumb, and then open strings on the and of that on the and of 4 in that first measure, going over into that 2nd measure. 1 and 2, sorry. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now into the 3rd measure of the first line, you're into the 2nd phrase where you're singing Alabama bound again, but the melody is different. So first you've got Alabama bound. Your 2nd phrase, Alabama bound. So now you're going up, into a 2-finger G position. So you're going to slide on your 3rd string from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret. You're going to do that on your index finger. And then you're going to drop either your middle, I use my ring finger, on the 1st string at the 4th fret, creating this little high G, or excuse me, this high D, little inversion there. So you're going to have 1 and 2. So the other interesting thing is the slide, the destination of your slide on your index finger, on your 3rd string from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret, you hit that 3rd fret right at the same moment that your thumb is coming down on the 4th string to play your 2nd thumb beat. So 1, so 1 and 2. So as you hit that 3rd fret, your thumb is coming down on that 4th string. And then on the end of that beat, you're answering with the 1st string. And then from there, you're just going to jump out of that chord shape and you're going to grab a 2-finger G chord in open D tuning. And your G chord, the way the old timers would play, would be just your index finger on your 3rd string at the 1st fret and your middle finger on your 5th string at the 2nd fret. Your bass note for your thumb is now 5 and 4. So you'll notice this G chord is not in root position. It's not like there, a G chord. So you have to get used to the way that sounds. So here again you have a little call and response. So in the beginning you have Alabama bound, solitary thumb beats, and then Alabama bound. So while you're moving from this slide position moving up, your melody note is on your 3rd string at the 1st fret in this G chord position. Alabama bound. So you have to pluck that with your index finger of your right hand. So thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, a little flick on the open strings, and then catching that 3rd string. 2, 3, 4. So in that first line, you have call and response in those first 2 phrases. Let me do that first line really slow. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4. So your chord shapes are actually pretty simple. This little slur position, this little slide position, and then your G position like so. Coordinating your fingers and your thumb, if you're already used to doing an alternating thumb picking style, it shouldn't be too much of a stretch. There's a little bit of a sort of a rolling feel where with my middle finger I kind of have to do double duty on the 2nd string and the 1st string. Now I'm playing the 1st and 3rd strings. 3rd string. Now obviously here I'm being a little bit precise with my picking so I can bring the notes out. When I play the tune, and I generally will do it with finger picks, I get a little bit more of a sort of brushing effect. So I'm picking up notes next to the ones that I'm aiming at so that there's a nice full sound on the guitar. And the guitar and the tuning is doing a lot of the work for me. I don't have to play hard with my right hand, and I don't have to finger too many things with my left hand. Okay, so that's the first 4 measures, the first 2 phrases. Let me do that one more time slow, and then we'll look at the second line, which is kind of one long phrase all the way through. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I've done here is I've just opened up that 4th string, or excuse me, that 5th string. That's not a mistake. I'm actually moving back towards this little D position, sliding up. So I'm starting the second line. So what we have now is we're going to mirror the way the vocal goes, which is one long line that you're singing. If the boat don't sink and the stack don't drown, I'm Alabama bound. So you're singing all the way through that. So it's a much longer line. You're not stopping and starting like you have in the first line. So let's take up the first little bit of that. So we're going to see this 2-finger sliding position. We're going to recycle it because that's the way the melody goes, and so we're going to use this position one more time. Only now, instead of just coming up and then letting go of it, we're going to walk back down. And then from here, we're going to move into our G position. So our index finger is really sort of our anchor finger from our D position, our movable little partial D shape, into the G position, which when we get down to the low end of the neck, the index finger is placed exactly where we need it to be. And we just move the middle finger over to the 5th string at the 2nd fret. And we're going to get a little hammer on the 2nd string at the 2nd fret, creating what's essentially a full G chord position. Most of the old timers wouldn't bother with adding in that extra finger. Maybe Tampa Red would use it to make a more complete chord, but most of the old timers would just play a 2-finger G chord like this. So Alabama bound, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I'm going to the bass note, keeping it on the 5th string, and I'm going to play 5 and 4. So I'm going up and back with a little sort of thumb index, thumb middle. So I'm keeping the index finger of my right hand. In this moment, I'm keeping it on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 1st string. Sometimes I'll separate the notes, sometimes I'll play them together. You know, it's not a hard and fast, arrangement. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there. And then I'm going to jump off into my 2-finger G chord position, and I've got to get this little hammer on. Now right there, that's another one of those moments where the hammer-on, in this case, and the thumb beat are meeting. So, right in there, 1 and 2 and. So you've got to get the hammer at the same moment that your thumb is coming down to the 4th string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When I was working on this arrangement, I wasn't thinking about it in terms of measures and counting, but when I was asked to tab it out, I thought there's like a little measure of 2/4 in there, and the more that I worked on, I realized no, it's just a split measure going from the D to the G, and then back to the D chord again. So it's even, but in the measures there's some little splits. So in that second line, going up to your D chord position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and then from here, let me actually play that much going from the beginning, so that there's some continuity. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now from here, I have to switch back to this slur position. Now, the moment that I'm doing that is actually crucial in terms of the timing, because I've just played I've just hit the thumb beat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two fingers and I'm going to move them off of the 3rd and the 4th strings. Keep them in the same position. I'm just going to move them over and down back into that D slur position. So my index finger is going to go back onto the 2nd string at the 2nd fret, and my middle finger is going to go back onto the 4th string at the 3rd fret. And the slur position occurs right when my thumb is going to be heading to the 4th string. So when I'm moving my left hand is really crucial, because my right hand, in terms of the thumb and the rest of the picking, stays absolutely steady. But if I get to this slur position late, when my thumb comes down, there won't be a finger there ready to pick. So I need to go right there, because I've just played the 5th string. And now the thumb is going to come down to that 4th string, and here I am. I'm right into that slur position. Right there. So right when I play that 5th string, that's my cue. Now I have to move. And then everything resolves as I go back to the open strings. So there's a little bit of a cluster, fill in the blank, at the end of this phrase. But if your thumb is absolutely steady, this is where the whole Mississippi John Hurt influence comes into play. My thumb never stops. One thing that you can do is, if you separate the two halves, so that's your fingers with no thumb. Now that's going to seem really weird because there's no thumb, right? So, but that's how you get the feel of the syncopation of your fingers. Right here. So that thumb is still either playing 5-4, 5-4 for the G chord, or 6-4, 6-4 for the D. So as soon as I come off of that G chord, so I have the little slur, and I've come off of playing 5 and 4 to playing 6 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's what my thumb is doing. And the thing that's really interesting about this guitar part is that you're basically playing the same thing for your solo as you are for your accompaniment. So the trick is to get all the guitar stuff down so that you're so familiar with it that you don't have to think about it and you can sing over the top of it. So if I play the entire piece super slow, This is what you're going to get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starts over. One more time. So that's what you're looking to do. Your left hand, like I say, is not super complicated. It's just sticking the landing on these little, basically 2-finger shapes. Your slur position, your slide position, your G position, all right? Then you would go back to your slide position, your G position with a hammer, and then your slur position, and then you're back to the open strings. So call and response, and then long phrase to finish it out. Alabama bound, Alabama bound. If the boat don't sink and the stag don't drown, I'm Alabama bound. So that's what you're looking to do. Hopefully between what I've shown you and the tablature, you'll have enough to be able to put it together.